Hey. Welcome to another episode of Getting Stoned with your host, Mr. Stone Petoskey. Yes. Once again, we are coming at you live and uninterrupted and unedited and uncensored. You know that's how we roll around here. It's all in the moment, spontaneous, generousness. Yes, oneness, oneness, not two. We are not two. Has that gotten through to you? Or are you still lost and confused? All right. So I want to just say a big thank you to all y'all. Anyone who is listening, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you taking your time to stop on by. I hope somehow, some way, there's some sort of something that you get from these little shows of mine. So sending out a big hug. Get up in here on the hugging. Yeah, the loving, you know it. Feels so good. Feels so good. Yeah. Always got to take a moment to hug yourself, to love yourself. First and foremost, before anything and everything. Yeah. Love yourself. That's what I'm saying. Don't be seeking any of that kind of thing outside of yourself, somewhere out there, as it were. No, love is an inside job. Then the beautiful thing is, when you love yourself, you can love everybody. Unconditional, y'all. Yeah. No matter what, that's what unconditional means. Yes. One love, as Mr. Miley would say. Ja. All right. So what do you say we get on into it here? I'm not going to go on rambling too much about the state of things. Yeah, we all know what's going on. I'm gonna come at you with another little piece of goodness from that book I was reading last week, Straw Dogs. Thoughts on Humans and Other Animals by Mr. John Gray, one of my favorite books. So we're gonna read the chapter entitled "As It Is." Should the truth about the world exist, it's bound to be non-human. That's a quote by Joseph Brodsky that kicks off this chapter. All right, so. In his novel, Nostromo, Joseph Conrad wrote, quote, "Action is consolatory. It is the enemy of thought and the friend of flattering illusions," unquote. For those whom life means action, the world is a stage on which to enact their dreams. Over the past few hundred years, at least in Europe, religion has waned, but we have not become less obsessed with imprinting a human meaning on things. A thin secular idealism has become the dominant attitude of life. The world has come to be seen as something to be remade in our own image. The idea that the aim of life is not action, but contemplation has almost disappeared. Those who struggle to change the world see themselves as noble, even tragic figures. Yet most of those who work for world betterment are not rebels against the scheme of things. They seek consolation for a truth they are too weak to bear. At bottom, their faith that the world can be transformed by human will is a denial of their own mortality. Wyndham Lewis described the idea of progress as, quote, time worship, unquote. The belief that things are valuable not for what they are, but for what they may someday become. In fact, it is the opposite. Progress promises release from time, the hope that in the spiraling ascent of the species, we can somehow preserve ourselves from oblivion. Action preserves a sense of self-identity that reflection dispels. When we are at work in the world, we have a seeming solidity. Action gives us consolation for our own existence. It is not the ideal dreamer who escapes from reality. It is practical men and women who turn to a life of action as a refuge from insignificance. Today, the good life means making full use of science and technology without succumbing to the illusion that they can make us free, reasonable, or even sane. It means seeking peace without hoping for a world without war. It means cherishing freedom and the knowledge that it is an interval between anarchy and tyranny. The good life is not found in dreams of progress, but in coping with tragic contingencies. We have been reared on religions and philosophies that deny the experience of tragedy. We can imagine a life that is not, can we imagine a life that is not founded on the consolations of action? Or are we too lax and coarse even to dream of living without them? Nothing is more alien to the present age than idleness. If we think of resting from our labors, it is only in order to return to them. In thinking so highly of work, we are aberrant. Few other cultures have ever done so. For nearly all of history and all prehistory, work was an indignity. Among Christians, only Protestants have ever believed that work smacks of salvation. The work and prayer of medieval Christendom were interspersed with festivals. The ancient Greeks sought salvation in philosophy, the Indians in meditation, the Chinese in poetry, and the love of nature. The pygmies of the African rainforest, now nearly extinct, work only to meet the needs of the day and spend most of their lives idling. Progress condemns idleness. The work needed to deliver humanity is vast. Indeed, it is limitless, since as one plateau of achievement is reached, another one looms up. Of course, this is only a mirage, but the worst of progress is not that it is an illusion, it is that it is endless. In Greek myth, Sisyphus struggles to roll a stone to the top of a hill, so it will then roll down the other side. Robert Graves tells his story thus: he has never yet succeeded in doing so. As soon as he has almost reached the summit, he is forced back by the weight of the shameless stone, which bounces to the very bottom once more, where he wearily retrieves it and must begin all over again, though sweat bathes his limbs and a cloud of dust rises above his head. For the ancients, unending labor was the mark of a slave. The labors of Sisyphus are a punishment. In working for progress, we submit to a labor no less servile. Playing with fate Gamblers wager for the sake of playing. Among those who fish for pleasure, the best fisherman is not the one who catches the most fish, but the one who enjoys fishing the most. The point of playing is that play has no point. How can there be play in a time where nothing has meaning unless it leads to something else? In our eyes, Homo ludens lives a life without purpose. Since play is beyond us, we have given ourselves over to a life of purposeless work instead. To labor as Sisyphus does is our fate. But can we make our labors more playful? At present, we think of science and technology as means of mastering the world. But the self that struggles to master the world is only a shimmer on the surface of things. The new technologies that are springing up around us seem to be inventions that serve our ends when they and we are moves in a game that has no end. Technology obeys no one's will. Can we play along with it without laboring to master it? Searching for a meaning in life may be useful therapy, but it has nothing to do with the life of the spirit. Spiritual life is not a search for meaning, but a release from it. Plato believed the end of life was contemplation. Action had value only in making contemplation possible, but contemplation meant communing with a human idea. Like many mystical thinkers, Plato thought of the world disclosed by the senses as a realm of shadows. Values were the ultimate realities. In contemplation, Plato sought union with the highest value, the good. For Plato, as for the Christians who followed him, reality and the good were one. But the good is a makeshift of hope and desire, not the truth of things. Values are only human needs, or the needs of other animals turned into abstractions. They have no reality in themselves, as George Satayana points out. All animals have within them a principle by which to distinguish good from evil, since their existence and welfare are furthered by some circumstances and acts and are hindered by others. Self-knowledge, with a little experience of the world, will then easily set up the Socratic standard of values natural and inevitable to any man or to any society. These values, each society will disentangle in proportion to its intelligence and will defend in proportion to its vitality. But who would dream that spiritual life was at all concerned in asserting these human and local values, or in supposing that they were especially divine or bound to dominate the universe forever? Through fasting, concentration, and prayer, mystics shut out the shifting world of the senses in order to reach a timeless reality. Quite often they find what they seek, but it is only a shadow play, an arabesque of their own anxieties projected onto an inner screen. They end as they began, stuck fast in the personal time of memory and regret. In modern times, the immortal longings of the mystics are expressed in a cult of incessant activity, infinite progress, infinite tedium. What could be more dreary than the perfection of mankind? The idea of progress is only the longing for immortality given a techno-futurist twist. Sanity is not found here, nor in the moth-eaten eternities of the mystics. Other animals do not pine for a deathless life. They are already in it. Even a caged tiger passes its life half out of time. Humans cannot enter that never-ending moment They can find a respite from time when, like Odysseus, who refused Calypso's offer of everlasting life on an enchanted island so he could return to his beloved home, they no longer dream of immortality. Contemplation is not the willed stillness of the mystics, but a willing surrender to never returning moments. When we turn away from our all too human yearnings, we turn back to mortal things. Not moral hopes or mystical dreams, but groundless facts are the true objects of contemplation. Other animals do not need a purpose in life, a contradiction to itself. The human animal cannot do without one. Can we not think of the aim of life as being simply to see? Yeah. Woo! Some good stuff, y'all. Some good stuff. Straw Dogs by Mr. John Gray. Thank you, brother. That book, man, that book will rock your socks off. I'm telling you, it seriously, you open to any page and you start reading and you will just be like, you know, it's just going to be like, what? Yeah, all the sort of like games we play, like not like he's talking about life as play and just being here to simply see, you know? It's not about progress. It's not about any of that stuff. That's just all the noise that humans have gotten ourselves up to, but it don't mean shit. Yeah, so he's a real trip, this guy. I really appreciate his work. So thank you, brother. What do you say we let's dip on into some just some poetry, you know? Just a little poetry to kind of bring that special sauce to the meal. All right. This is a poem called The Saddest Man on Earth by Kaufmann. The saddest man on earth ignored how the rain felt as he left home for the last time. Wore down his boot heels, searching for the woman of his dreams, but never understood that life is a woman. Lived in a town where sadness was illegal and where grinning cops ticketed his face so often that he lost his license to cry. The saddest man on earth tuned guitars but couldn't play them. Cheated the IRS of his own refund. Fathered a child who thought she was him in Perfect Strangers, yet didn't recognize him face to face. I met him once in a bar, toasting the mirror with his stare. He had come south to start life over. He was a Mozart of silence. All right. What are we going to check out next? How about we do something from A.D. Winans? This is a poem titled "The System." There are old men and women who have worked all their lives, who have put in 3-4 decades for the right to a pension. There are old people who have worked 20 years or more, only to be laid off and given 2 weeks severance pay. There are old people who have worked their entire lives only to see the company go belly up and find there is no pension fund left. You can find them on park benches or wandering sterile supermarkets or sitting at neighborhood bars, nursing their drinks like a blood transfusion. They come in assorted flavors like lifesavers, some thin and balding, some fat and sweating, some complaining bitterly, some too proud to let the pain show. So proud they eat dog food and find dessert in back alley garbage cans. Trapped by a belief in a system that has abandoned them. For the most part, they suffer in silence, duly unnoticed, to be carted off in meat wagons, waiting to be cut open by coroners who see them as morning cereal, who go about their business like a butcher, thinking of dinner, thinking of how it used to be, how it might have been, how it should have been, how it could have been. It's the way of life. It's the way of politicians. It's the way of rats and mice. It's the system where just trying to stay alive becomes a small victory. One more from A.D. Winans. This one is titled "Poem for the Working Man and the Upper Mobile Yuppie." I haven't heard that word in a long time, yuppie. Shit. All right, here we go. Some people guard their lives like a eunuch guards the harem door, like a stockbroker with a hot tip, like a banker who knows that today's dollar will only be worth 1/4 what it is today in less time than it takes to die. Better to linger over a cup of coffee like a skilled lover with no need for bragging rights. Remember that every newsman on every street corner in America, that every meat packer and fisherman knows more about life than your average poet. The blind man rattling an empty tin cup makes more sense, more noise, than a yuppie gunning his BMW on his way to the graveyard. Woo, that's some good stuff right there too. Damn. Ah, nothing like some poetry, y'all, to just sort of set things right. don't think it's been a little bit too long since I said thank you to all y'all for listening. Tell you how much I love you and appreciate you. Hell yeah. You are beautiful. You are a miracle. You are God-made manifest. Shine your light bright, y'all. You are it. All right, let's do a tune here. This is an original. I haven't done this song in, couldn't even tell you, 2-3 years since I even played it, but we're digging back into the archives, I guess. This is called Nothing Left to Lose. Yeah. There's a thunder rumbling, loud and clear. Someone listening, but some of us can hear. You can only take more than your share for so long before we start coming for you like a fiery dawn. All those reasons you use to explain your dirty deeds don't mean a damn thing to me and mine and our needs. There's no justification for the greed you got. You give so damn little. Brother, we're gonna take back a whole lot. We are the many, they are the few. Come along, brothers and sisters, we got nothing left to lose. Sure, there has always been the rich and the poor, but here in this land, we're not living like that no more. You steal from behind our backs, right before our eyes. We're just trying to feed our families, y'all, but you don't hear our babies cry. Somewhere this train flew off the tracks, my friends. The trail of tears is now a river, guiding us to our end. If we don't stand up and deliver our truth right now, gonna be tomorrow for our children to grow. We are the many, they are the few. Come along, brothers and sisters, got nothing left to lose. Yeah. Oh. Well, that was fun, wasn't it now? Nothing left to lose. Once you understand that concept, you are free. at least in my view of things. Because if you know there's nothing left to lose, that you are it, right? Always, eternally, forever and ever and ever. There's nothing that created any of this, in my view. That's something you never have an answer to. I just think this just is, right? And so, and that way you're not afraid of dying, because you know death is, it's not what we think it is. It's not the myths we've said. You know, it's something. It's hard even to like think about it as just all part of everything forever and ever. You know what I'm saying? So you got nothing left to lose, man. That lets you sort of kick it on back, and you know you can appreciate, elevate, and just love what is, love what be. Just the awareness, the acceptance, the ability to enjoy the view. Yeah. All right. Y'all, thank you so much for stopping on by. You know how much I appreciate you, how much I love you. Y'all the best. We'll see you back here on the flip side. Until next time, this is Stone Petoskey saying peace.